What's going on, homies? Welcome to the Cracked Soccer Podcast, episode number 70. My name is Angel Reyes, alongside with Fernando, Fern, Jimenez. And we're going to get right... Fernando. We're going to get right into it, ladies and gentlemen, with our... with our cracked players of last week. Fern, why don't you kick us off, my guy?
You know how it goes, bro. You know how it goes. All my cracked players tend to be very biased for some reason. I don't know why.
Just how you are, this week, biased person.
Yeah. This week I'll keep it in state, though. With the GOAT. Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Technical difficulties. What's going on here? Don't look at my nudes. Yeah. It's Diego Luna, dude.
Diego Luna, dude, I gotta send him a message. I gotta get him on here, dude. I gotta get him on the podcast.
Get on, Diego. This is our call out to you. Get on the Crack Soccer Podcast. You won't regret it. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? This guy has been great for, obviously, our cracked players right now are for the Leagues Cup, just due to that's what's going on right now. No MLS games, so there could possibly be a Liga MX player as a cracked player for first time ever. You never know.
Yeah. Never know.
Not very likely, but yeah. What's crazy about this guy is when you look up Diego Luna, he's not even the first one that pops up. Have you tried looking him up?
Yeah.
I always have to put soccer after just for him to pop up, but yeah, what can I say? He played really well. He had an assist in the first half. He kind of dribbled the ball, got up right in front of the goal, and just knocked it down so they could score. I don't know. I can't think of his name right now. Solans.
The first one?
Yeah, it was Solans. Solans. And then I believe Engel was the guy he assisted, right? Or was the other guy at the end? I was watching the highlights right now.
Solans and Booth.
He did not. Did he?
Yeah, he assisted Booth.
He assisted Booth?
First and second goal, yes, sir.
I swear that this guy just brought it up by himself the entire time. I was watching the highlights right now. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that's technically an assist. He passed it to the corner. This guy ran like 20 feet in and scored. But yeah, he played really well for RSL against Atlante. Great game for RSL, 4-0. Brings them up to what, 5th? No, they're pretty low right now because there's 3 games. Some teams have played 3 games already, but they're 2 games in, 1 win, 4-0, which is great because their first goal or their first game ended in a draw. They lost in PK, so they got 1 point out of it, right?
Yeah, so they're in 8th place.
That's how that works. Yep, so they're in 8th. But that 4-goal lead or that 4-goal win is really crucial because I feel like goal difference is going to have a big impact in this because obviously only the top 4 teams are going to go in.
Yeah.
And he just had a great game against them, and hopefully he'll have another great game today, which I didn't realize all their games were in Sandy.
Yeah. I'm sure. I went to the first game. I went to the game against Tigres, and then they had this last game against Atlante over the weekend, and then today they have I believe Juarez in Sandy, Utah. So super dope. I mean, anytime you have a player like Diego Luna, man, on your squad, dude, you have to show up and show out, right?
Yeah.
I was bummed because the game I went to against Tigres, he wasn't starting. So given that he started the whole game against Atlante and, gets 2 assists, player of the match, gets a win, that's the kind of player that he is, and that's the kind of player that he can be when he's on the field. So I was bummed not to see him. He honestly didn't come in until super late in that last game, but hell of a player, dude. He's a dog. It's going to be sad because one of those things where you kind of look at Diego, like he's only 22 years old. He's probably going to end up going somewhere else to kind of get better. You hate to kind of think about that or even see that happen, but it's likely something that's going to happen at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when the World Cup qualifiers were going on, he played really well against Belgium when they had that friendly.
Yeah.
So luckily the U.S. didn't have to play Belgium in the actual World Cup and need him. So
they needed him. They needed that dog.
the dog.
But yeah, Diego, if you ever want to jump on, brother, shoot the shit. We'll be here.
I'll come to you. I'll go to Sandy.
Yeah, we'll come to you, dude.
Or Salt Lake, wherever.
Wherever you want, big dog. Dope, dude. Love to see it. I will go ahead with my correct player of this last weekend. None other than Uzuni. Mirto Uzuni. Uzuni for Austin FC. The guy had a very good game this last game in the Leagues Cup, getting 3 goals against Puebla. So he did very well, 94% pass accuracy, played the entire game. He scored all 3 goals in that game, which was absolutely insane. And then I do have a link to the 3rd goal that he had because he put this thing away in the first half. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to witness a quick maybe couple seconds of his 3rd goal, which was an absolute stunner. But also to give it into perspective, the very first goal that he had in this game was 4 minutes in to the game, about 4 minutes in. And it was a free kick, wild. It wasn't too bad of a free kick, but I feel like this goalie for Puebla, not very good, to be completely honest with you. But this 3rd goal, I mean, anybody looking at this is going to say, yo, this is some skill right here. Go ahead and run it.
Oh, it's not playing. There we go. Come on.
Yeah, right here. This is the 3rd goal. And look, he's all the way to the top of the box. See the top of the box on the half circle? Right, he's way up there. That's him. Whoa, bam.
Oh.
Anybody looking at that is going to say, yeah, that's not easy to do. To connect with the ball, not even just to hit the ball.
That's easy.
Oh, okay, Fern, okay. Just to hit the ball is very difficult to do. So hats off to Uzuni getting 3 goals, getting the win for Austin FC, and they currently sit at the very top of the rankings for the Leagues Cup. Right now they have number 1 seed. So depends on what happens later on in the Leagues Cup, which we'll get into. But awesome performance by him. Awesome performance by Austin. It's kind of wild to see them do so well, given that they haven't been the greatest in the regular MLS, play. But I mean, winning the past 2 games, dude, it's freaking good. So hats off to them, man.
Yeah, shout out to Austin. They're currently what the heck? They're currently 14th in the Western Conference, second to last.
Yeah.
So this has been a great tournament for them. Obviously, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a sec. I was just joking about him scoring or that goal being easy. I actually had a game yesterday, and I had I think 5 or 6 chances to score, and I scored 0 goals. So
Fernando.
I had like 3 first-time ones that I should have just cut myself off, cut the near post off, and then one I was like, okay, I'm gonna take my time with it, and I should just hit it first time. So. I'll have to watch these highlights and get some tips from Uzuni.
There you go.
The Austin GOAT for the Leagues Cup, because currently they're sitting 4th with 6 points and 2 games played. So if they keep doing what they're doing, this will be probably their best chance at winning silverware this year. So they're looking dangerous. Austin's looking crazy.
Not too bad. It's going to be a tough next game for sure, though. They have Club America, which also sits atop of the rankings for Liga MX. So tough games coming up for him, but those are our correct players of this last week. Plenty of other players that we could have mentioned. So also we're going to ask the audience, if you had a different correct player, let us know. Hit us in the comments. We will gladly take a look at that and debate in the comments section.
Our options. We are options.
Yes, we are. One of these days we'll get some game footage, right? And we'll post that thing when we're a little bit better.
I need to, bro. I feel like the last showing when we were just out made me look bad. And I am bad, but not that bad. At least in game, I feel like it's better. Go. So, but I was thinking as we were having a conversation to start off the podcast before we started, we probably need to change our name to the Cracked Knee Podcast because we are both currently on the IR. So
yeah, we are on the IR list. It's okay though. Just give us a couple weeks. We'll recover. I'm already recovering. I'm already trying to move some stuff around. But yeah, the knee. Honestly, I've never hurt my knee before, and this sucks. Like it's pretty pain. It's like it's one of those things where you don't think about like, oh, this is just it works. You know what I mean? And then when you hurt it, you're like, oh, dude, this freaking sucks. I need to use this for everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely sucks.
It's been 6 years since I've had my surgery, and I tell people ever since I had my surgery, I know my knee's there. Like I don't know how to explain it besides saying it's like you just know it's there. Like you just feel it every day, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you kind of have that in the back of your head all the time. It just doesn't really go away, right? So I get it. Now I get it, right? So our knees will recover. No worries. Sweet. Let's get into some of the headlines here that we have for Major League Soccer across the headways and across social media. Last week, we discussed the brand new MLS commissioner, John Berg, not to be mistaken by NBA legend John Bird. But John? Was it John?
Larry?
Did I say John?
Yeah, I was like, John.
Sorry. Larry Berg. So last time we talked about up-and-coming MLS commissioner Larry Berg, not to be mistaken by NBA legend Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Pájaro, the Pájaro man. But they did have a recent interview with Larry Berg around his up-and-coming tenure for MLS commissioner. And one of the things that's always top of mind for MLS fans and just kind of soccer fans in the US in general is this idea of promotion relegation, right? And for those of you that don't know what this means, essentially what it means is the bottom 3 teams at the end of the regular season would go to a Division 2, and the top 3 teams from the Division 2 would go to Division 1, right? And that's kind of what has, builds that excitement throughout the rest of the season to not get relegated, and also for the ones down below to get promoted to the top flight of soccer tiers, right?
Yes.
But essentially what was being asked is like, hey man, like we know that a lot of fans, everybody wants to know your understanding on promotion relegation. And he basically had a pretty interesting answer, maybe not unexpected, but he basically said, hey, I understand that this is something that everybody wants to talk about, but he doesn't think that the long idea of promotion relegation to the North American League is appropriate at this time. Essentially what he thinks is that, if they were to implement something like promotion relegation, it wouldn't offer, it wouldn't basically make investors and other things want to build stadiums, get training facilities, invest in better rosters and things like that, right? Correct. So essentially said no, like it's not going to happen anytime soon, right? We've discussed this a lot throughout the podcast, and I'm just curious on kind of what your initial thoughts are from Larry Berg's comments on saying, hold your horses, easy there, Turbo, not right now.
I'm trying to do some research to kind of get an understanding of when did the MLS start? 96, right?
96, yep.
And that's been what, 30 years?
About 30 years, yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I was just like, so when did relegation start, Yeah. When did this happen? Because obviously the Premier League, it says promotion and relegation started concurrently with the creation of the Premier League, which was in 92, 93.
Right.
Obviously I haven't done as much research. I just have a couple things. So then I'm like, okay, so if relegation started in 92, 93, and the English top flight started in 1888, meaning
right, long time ago.
There was like, I don't know the math off the top of my head, but that's a very big time from the start of the top flight of English football to the relegation whatnot being instituted. And I think people sometimes tend to forget that the MLS is just a 30-year-old league compared to a Premier League that's been since 1888, which is very long. And I think, I mean, obviously it makes sense that relegation and promotion won't be a thing right now. The MLS is still just trying to plant its feet down. Like just last year, we had 2 brand new teams, right? I feel like once they find that middle ground of, okay, we have all the teams that we are going to have in this league, right? Like they get everybody, there's no more plans for expansion. Then maybe that would make sense to start doing the relegation promotion stuff and allowing, I don't know, whatever partnership ends up happening, whether the MLS just decides, hey, you know what? We're gonna branch out and make an MLS 2 versus just going with USL.
Right.
So I think it's a matter of time. Obviously, it's only been 30 years. Like,
Yeah.
that's not that long. Me and you are 30,
No, for sure.
and I feel like I'm pretty young still. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just like give it another 20 years. Maybe in our lifetime we'll see the relegation promotion stuff going on. But I feel like the
Yeah.
MLS still has to plant its roots.
Sure.
Like, you can't. Again, soccer is such a small sport here in the U.S. You have to gain that
Yeah.
fandom for these teams. Like San Diego obviously have a big fan base because they did so well, but some of these
Small market.
smaller market teams don't have crazy big fans. But
Yeah.
once you get that established in the US, then you have fans that are more passionate and players that can be more passionate of, hey, like, we have to stay up, we can't drop down because we're already
Yeah.
a small market. We're gonna, or even like, again, let's say they add more teams and then they split it into, like I just said, the MLS 1 and the MLS 2, because now
Right.
you have, let's say, what's an even number? You have 60 teams,
Mm-hmm.
which right now they're at 30. So let's say they doubled it. And then just split them up. Have a kind of like the sprint season. You have a promotion relegation season where whoever finishes bottom 15, you're out. You're into the MLS 2. That's sort of an idea
That'd be wild.
that just kind of came into my head right now as I was thinking about this. If they didn't want to partner with the USL, obviously, because then that
Right.
becomes a bit different. But I feel like the USL makes a bit more sense because they already have certain teams established in the states of, like,
And growing. Yeah.
yeah, in Utah, like whatever, in every state, and every MLS team has a USL team in their state, like, almost
Essentially.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting dynamic to say, hey, not right now, right? And I totally get it. I think you hit the nail on the head where you said the fan bases are not quite there for all of the teams right now, to where if they were to do promotion relegation, a lot of these teams probably wouldn't survive a promotion relegation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially because, that probably won't happen with like an LAFC, an LA Galaxy, New York City FC, a Chicago Fire. You know what I mean? Like these big market teams, it probably is not going to happen to them. But when you think about teams like an RSL, like a Minnesota United, like a, I don't know, FC Dallas or Houston Dynamo, right? Like teams that are probably not as explosively big and in a big market. Like, yeah, I think a lot of those teams could be in trouble if something happened, right? So that kind of is a big indicator for me too, where, hey, it probably isn't time to do a promotion relegation. But I also think, dude, like, I mean, the script is there, guys. Like, the Premier League's been doing this for a minute now, right? Since about 1992, to where they've basically been doing promotion relegation. And I've been doing the same thing that you kind of did, where I did a little bit more research. I looked it up, said, hey, look, what does it kind of look like in the Premier League, right? And in the Premier League, they only have 20 teams, right? So they have 20 teams in the Prem. They have 24 in the Championship, 24 in League One, and 24 in League Two, right? And then basically after you get past League Two, it's all basically semi-pro amateur tiers. You know what I mean? And it gets a little bit interesting here and there, right? And, so many teams go up, so many teams go down. It's all a little bit different. But everything's governed by the FA, which is basically the Football Association in England, right? They kind of own and manage all those things, right? So I was a little bit curious. I asked, AI, I was like, hey, so like, why would it not work here? Like, why would somebody like Larry Berg say not right now? And the biggest reason is because of money, right? Essentially, it's a financial burden for somebody like, let's just say, Inter Miami, for example, right? Luckily, they've been doing well, and they won the MLS Cup this last season, right? But they put so much money into this club, right?
Yeah.
Brand new stadium. You're signing people like Messi, like DePaul, and you're getting, a ton of new things. You're getting jerseys all the time, all these different things, right? That people want to watch Miami, and so these people are just dumping money into this organization. And let's just say 2 years from now, they just have a bad season. Messi retires. It all kind of goes down the hole. All this money that they put into the club, and they get relegated, right? They lose money, basically. So that's essentially why they won't do it, right? Because they're going to lose money if and when they get relegated, right? So it's a big financial strain. And so then I started asking myself, okay, well, if it's a big financial strain, like how do they do it in the Premier League? Because I'm sure a team like Manchester United or a Tottenham,
Spurs. Yep.
yeah, exactly, a Tottenham, big market teams where you're like, if they get relegated, that's big. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge financial strain. So it's like, how does the Premier League make it so that doesn't happen? And so essentially, like the biggest thing that they do is this thing called a parachute payments. You ever heard of this?
Mm-mm.
Basically, like let's just say for example, because last season, what Tottenham
Mm-hmm.
were this close
They were,
getting
yeah, last
relegated.
game of the season pretty
Yeah,
much.
literally came down to the wire. If they didn't win that game, they would have been down, and all that money lost, right? And they put so much money into that club. But basically, what happens is the FA, right? They kind of have like this governing, like this basically this purse where it's like a tool that they use for to help clubs with revenue once they get relegated, right? So, like
Mm-hmm.
for example, the first year that they get relegated, the Premier League and like the FA and all this, they basically give them 55% of like the revenue, like right there, year
Yeah.
one. Like they give it to
Mm-hmm.
them so they can kind of like start paying things off and make sure they're not, behind on things. And then in year two, they give them 45%, and in year three, they get 20%. So they kind of get like payments from the Premier League or the FA, right? Kind of makes them
Yeah.
get payments, and so they kind of have like a soft landing, right? Essentially
Yeah.
saying you got 3 years to figure your shit out,
Yeah.
and then the money's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all this help is gone.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing that they do, right? So the MLS or like whatever association we ended up creating here in the US would have to do something like that to help them with payments, right? Financially.
Mm-hmm.
They also have in their contracts clauses. I don't know if you knew this, but
Yeah.
like if a
If they
team
get
gets,
relegated, they can leave.
well, yeah, they can get leave, but
Oh.
they also um their wages go down
Oh
significantly,
yeah.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
if they go down, like their wages go down by like 30 to 50%,
Yeah.
right? Like if you're making 10 mil,
Yeah.
50% cut, you're going maybe making 5 mil. That's a big difference from what you were originally making.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's that, and then there's a couple different things that I wouldn't necessarily say it's too crazy, right? Like most things are those two big things, right? Those clauses, and then the whole parachute payments. But also like you were mentioning, like even if a Tottenham or like a Manchester United were to get relegated, like who's not going to buy a Tottenham jersey still, or who's not going
Yeah.
to buy a Manchester United jersey still? A lot of these
Correct.
teams have been here forever, so like even if they get relegated, they're still getting some money through
Mm-hmm.
merchandise and broadcast and all that stuff. So all of that to say is that there's definitely a way to get this done. I just think there's a little bit of greed in here, a little bit of greed in that comment and that answer to say, we're going to wait a little bit so that these clubs are more established, so that the Inter Miamis, New York City FCs, LAFCs have enough money so that we know that they never can get relegated. Basically, we want to build a big six.
And I mean, I understand everything you're saying, but then like sort of as you were talking, I was also thinking of like I kind of mentioned it, like obviously some of these fan bases aren't super big.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I would say like what maybe like the LA teams, LAFC,
Yeah, the coast
LA
teams.
Galaxy, like those guys have big fan bases. Obviously I think LA Galaxy biggest team in the MLS, but do you think US fans would even care?
About what?
Like their team goes down to MLS 2 as
Mm.
an example. Do you think the average fan cares enough to be like, "Oh, well we're watching an MLS 2 game versus a
Yeah,
MLS game," you know?
yeah.
So and you said it, like obviously they're still going to be making jersey purchases. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it'll go down because let's say as an example, RSL gets demoted to MLS 2, so Diego Luna is like, well, I don't want to play in the MLS 2, so he leaves.
Yeah.
So then maybe you don't have as big of a player that would come
Mm-hmm.
in, like that would be selling out jerseys. Like I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people at these RSL games with Diego Luna jerseys now, with
For
him
sure.
being there for that long.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I honestly think I still think it's a good idea. I still think that they should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I said that they're still planting their roots, which yes, but you gotta kind of mix things up here soon. And obviously, I think that you said the Premier League has 20 teams
20
currently, right?
teams. Yep.
So we're 10 teams away. 20 teams in the top flight, 20 teams in the bottom flight, and
Yeah.
same thing. Figure out parachute type payments to help teams, and then I feel like that wage bill, which is kind of hard here in the MLS, with there already being a certain cap and such a small
Mm-hmm.
minimum, that it that kind of affects things a little bit with like dropping people's
For
wages
sure.
down. But
Yeah.
like if you're like a DP player, you lose a bunch of money, right?
Right.
Or like
Mm-hmm.
if you're like a top 10 paid player in the MLS, you like lose money. That way it creates an incentive for everybody. Obviously the owners don't want to lose money in a team they just invested in.
Right.
And the players don't want to lose money
Yeah.
because they're barely making that much. Maybe get rid of the wages or up the minimums and the maximums and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And yeah, just create that drama. Like it
Yeah.
sucks. Yeah, it does suck. Nobody wants to lose money. I don't want to lose money. They don't want to lose money, but sometimes if you're not trying hard enough, you're going to lose money. And
Yeah.
like obviously people have mentioned it before. I think Bell was talking about it like in a interview over the World Cup, saying like, hey, like when we were in Madrid and we lost the game, like people would be pissed, the fans would
Yeah.
be over here like, shouting
Yeah.
slurs at us and just saying all kinds of things. And he's like, and then I came into LAFC, which is one of the best teams in the MLS, like winning
Mm-hmm.
at all times. Like they're all they know is how to win pretty much,
Yeah.
and they'll lose a game and it's just like, oh, it doesn't matter
Right.
because we're
That's
still in
also
the
the
playoffs.
MLS. It's also
Yeah,
the MLS mindset. I feel like
yeah.
it can probably be a little bit different to like.
Hmm.
I'm sure if the Dodgers lose,
Yeah.
Dodgers fans aren't happy.
Yeah,
I'm sure if
exactly.
the Yankees lose, Yankees fans are happy.
Yeah, but
Boston
the Yankees are
fans.
used to losing, so it doesn't matter.
But what I'm saying is that's a different fan base, right? That's a
Yeah.
different league. That's a whole different experience. You know what I mean? Like
And
we need to get
again,
to that point to
that
where
comes with
fans care.
years.
For sure.
And like what obviously like MLB's been going on since black and white days,
Yeah.
black and white TV
Long
days.
time ago.
Same thing with like the NBA and football. Like we just again, this always comes down to the um roots that still need to be established by the
Right.
MLS. So I think it will come, and I would enjoy seeing that.
Yeah.
I mean, what I unfortunately most of the time, like people like me, like I'm a Barcelona fan. They're
Yeah.
consistently winning. Like obviously they don't win everything every year, but
Yeah.
they're
But
consistently
they're a good
winning,
team,
and
yeah.
they're like top 3 in their league at all times.
All the time, yeah.
And yeah, like people from here, they'll come in and they'll choose the best teams to play for. Let's say here, I don't really have a choice. I'm an RSL fan, and if relegation and promotion was a thing, I'd probably be stressing pretty
Yeah.
often, you know?
Yeah.
So
Very
it's
often.
like, yeah, and yeah, I'm just excited for this to come around whenever it is, and just bring a bit more excitement to these games. So
Yeah.
people come out and they see like people here in the US, they were so infatuated by the World Cup because these
Mm-hmm.
players are playing like it means something,
Right.
right?
Right.
And obviously people want to win in the MLS, but there's just like that little bit of it means something, but it's not the end of the world.
Right. For sure. No, I hear what you're saying. And this is the last thing we can say on this, and we can move on. But essentially, like for me personally, if the MLS, if soccer in the U.S. really wants to get big and take advantage of post World Cup, take advantage of the schedule change, take advantage of all these different things, in potentially getting soccer to be more mainstream, I give it 5 years, dude. 5 to 6 years for the MLS to do something to where they get to promotion relegation. If they don't, I think they start to lose interest. People will start to lose that interest, right?
Yeah.
I think it has to be where the MLS has to merge with the USL. There has to be some sort of governing body. There has to be around 4-5 divisions, right? To where teams can move up and down. And yeah, I mean, there has to be also some deal made broadcasting wise to where everybody wants to be in the MLS, whatever it's going to be called in the future, in the MLS on, I don't know, Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sunday mornings, whatever the hell it is. Like, we have to have something to where these people want to be like, yo, we got to play on these days and we got to play for these teams and we want to be the very best and the very best talent will be here. It's going to be a lot of growing pains, like you said, but if you want to be taken serious, you gotta take risks, man. So I give it 5-6 years, bro. So we'll definitely see what happens with the whole promotion relegation thing. John, Larry Berg, see what you do, man. Sounds like it's not in the big, not the biggest thing you want to look at right now, but nonetheless, I think it has to happen at some point. We can both agree.
Yeah, and even if there's no more teams to be expanded, pick a number you're comfortable with. Maybe that's 25 teams, maybe 30 teams. Or 25, because there's, I don't know how many teams are in the USL currently, but you play a MLS season and then you drop them down to the USL, and then the season after you got some MLS teams fighting for promotion with the USL teams, and if a USL teams just comes up, like, there's definitely ways to get it done. So much
to do it.
And sucks to suck, dude. You got to lose some money, bro.
Scare money don't make money, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And even then, like, now you have more opportunities for more sponsorships in your second league. Like, USL needs the money. MLS can bring that money. They can bring a partnership, and I mean,
and did you see I think it was San Diego that the first teams that sold space in their back of their shirt in the MLS. You see that? San Diego. I think dude wipes. They have dude wipes on the bottom of the San Diego jerseys. They're the first MLS team to sell the back. Like, I think it was the bottom.
Can't wait till they look like Liga MX teams, bro.
Yeah, dude, they probably will be at some point. So, but anyways, lots to discuss there with promotion relegations. One of those hot topics all the time when you talk about soccer in the U.S. So we'll see what happens. But we got a couple interesting transfer news that came across that we haven't discussed quite yet. So we'll kind of touch on these and then we'll get into some Leagues Cup conversations. But we missed this one last week. It was kind of, towards the end of when we were recording, but it was more of a hearsay. But essentially, youngster Xavier Gozo reportedly set for Crystal Palace move. Obviously very, very tough for us as Real Salt Lake fans, as Utah natives. But essentially what happened was Gozo is reaching, from what I can understand, from what I can read here, reaching a deal to finalize a deal with Crystal Palace worth approximately $15 million. I don't know how much of that is, cash, what percentage of that is, add-on, additives, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man, I mean, he's been a stud, right? He's 19 years old. Obviously plays midfield for Real Salt Lake, did play in the MLS All-Star game, and he's got, 50 appearances. He's got 10 goals, 8 assists already in his career, so he's been doing pretty well. He has never played for the U.S. men's national team, but I'm sure one day he will. But he does join another USA player, Chris Richards, over there at Crystal Palace, so that'll be very cool to see. I might have to become a Crystal Palace fan at this point, bro. Like, that's kind of cool. I also didn't know, and I don't know if you knew this, but a minority stakeholder in Crystal Palace also is a minority stakeholder in Real Salt Lake. So David Blitzer, he has a stake in both teams, and so essentially he, I'm assuming, had a hand in Gozo possibly moving over to Crystal Palace. So very excited for him. I'm excited for him. I'm sad to see him go, but he's going to get a lot of amazing experience over there at Crystal Palace in the Premier League, playing against some of the best players in the world. And I just can't wait to see what happens in the next, 4 years, bro. Like, how good he's going to be when he's 24, 25. Bro's going to be balling, dude.
Oh, what's his name, dude, for France? Midfielder Bayern, not midfielder, winger Bayern. Olise.
Came from there too.
Yeah, he came from there. He could have played for England. But yeah, dude, that's a crazy upgrade for Gozo, because currently he's making $113,000 per year. And he's gonna be making $15 million, or sorry, $15 million.
It'll be approximate. It's probably closer to, I'm gonna say closer to like 9 or 10, and then the add-ons are probably around 5 million.
And then for however many years, regardless, I think he's still gonna be making over $1 million a year now.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
And so, as I mentioned to you, I was watching the Chad Ochocinco podcast that he was in. As soon as I saw that he was on it, I had to watch it. And it's kind of crazy because my in-laws live in a city called Eagle Mountain in
Mm-hmm.
Utah, and as they were like just having the conversation, like I just heard Chad Ochocinco say Eagle Mountain, and it just like threw me off because it's like
Oh
the
yeah.
most random thing. Because he was just talking about how his family like gave up a lot, and they actually went up and moved to Eagle Mountain so he
Oh
could
wow.
play at the RSL stadium because it's like about a 10-15 minute drive from Eagle
Mm.
Mountain. And yeah, I mean, shout out to this guy, Gozo. I mean, what was it like the last few times we've talked about him? We kind of knew this was bound to happen.
Right.
We
We
sort
got
of talked about it.
we got some flack for
Yeah,
when we were saying, hey, we
I
can't let these kind of
know.
players go, dude.
I know.
These
My
guys
wife,
taking us too serious.
my wife's like, you apparently you have a dumb take, and I'm like, yeah, I do. But obviously we were just messing around. But it is like, oh, it sucks. Like we could have had an Alfonso Davies playing in the MLS. We had a
Right.
Xavier Gozo playing in the MLS. Obviously, like we don't know what's gonna happen in his career. He's only 19 years old.
Yeah.
Obviously, I hope he reaches as high as he's aiming to reach, and you know, doesn't
He
forget
can
where
get there
he.
too. I
Yeah, and
mean,
he can.
that
He's
one
good.
guy, did you see the Diomande?
Mm-mm.
He played college in the US. I believe he played who did he play for? Some Midwest team, maybe some Midwest university.
The one that signed for Madrid,
Yeah, and he just signed for Madrid for who
a
the heck
hundred and
knows how
something
much.
million.
I was gonna say he's got to be $100 million man. Real Madrid only signs $100 million people,
Yeah,
so I mean, there's talent here for sure. We just need to find it and continue to use it. You know what I mean? Like hopefully,
yeah.
and you also mentioned right. Hopefully, there's something where yes,
They're
he's gonna make so
actually,
much money. RSL hopefully makes so much money, and then maybe in the future, if he does get sold to Real Madrid, kick some of
yeah.
that back to Real Salt Lake. See
So
what
that's what I was
happens.
actually going to mention to you. They actually have a 20 to 25 future sell-on uh
Mm,
return to RSL. So if he were to sell for like 100 million, that's 25 million back to RSL on top of the 15 that
sweet.
they had already made off of him. But yeah, I mean, obviously I'm happy for him. Hope everything goes well, and I just feel like I don't know what it is. Like, is it a matter of time before Diego Luna leaves, or is it like an
Yeah,
RSL hype train thing?
yeah, I
And we
think
just
so.
live in Utah, and it's like we just feel like he's the
No, well, here's the thing. It's an interesting point. We weren't gonna discuss this, but I think it's an interesting take. Diego Luna is a great player. I think he could make it in a lot of different teams. But there's been some people where I've had conversations and I've asked them about their thoughts on Diego Luna, and the guy isn't built like a Gozo. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And that's kind of like a harsh thing to say, right? To be completely honest with you, but like Gozo's a pretty lean 19-year-old where he's very quick. He kind of looks like a winger, kind of looks like a forward.
Yeah.
Luna's a little bit different, right? He's obviously kind of more of a stockier folk. I think he's only 5'8". Looks like Gozo is how big is Gozo? Let me see. I'm kind of curious now that I'm kind of looking at this because it doesn't say.
His what?
Gozo's got to be around 6'1", 6', 6'1". I'm assuming, right? And who knows? He might even get taller. He's only 19. But essentially, what I'm trying to say is, Luna, as great of a player as he is, like, do you think he could go to a Crystal Palace as well and compete? At the highest level, could he go to a Dortmund or a Gladbach or a, I don't know, a Roma, Marseille? Like, could he go abroad and like play as well as he's been playing in the
Mhm.
MLS? Like, I don't know. And some people don't think he can just because of his size. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, he's 22. Yeah, he's only 5'8". Like, I mean, the best player in the world is, I believe, 5'8", 5'6", whatever, however tall Messi is. But like, he can
At least you say
definitely
it.
ball, right? I mean, but can he do it in today's game? I don't know.
Yeah, Messi's 5'8" or 5'7", sorry. I mean, yeah, I don't see why not. And then, I mean, I always have this thought. I don't know if I want to say this. I want him to come on the podcast. Um,
Say it, just say
I
it.
just no, I'm just kidding. I always have like this thought of like when you see him, and yes, like you're right, like he's short, like Messi is, but like you see Messi and he's just like small.
He's
If that
lean.
makes sense, he's lean, yeah.
Yeah,
And um,
he
not
this is a lot on Luna. Gets this a lot
yeah,
everywhere,
and
so it's
and and
okay.
that's why I don't want to say it. Like he just hears it a lot, but it's like I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was like him getting ready to play, and somebody was like, if this guy can play, this is why nobody takes the MLS seriously because they have players like this. And I'm like, bro, okay, like relax, like it's not that bad. But I really don't know if it's like just how he's built or whatever. But like I do see him sometimes. I'm like, dude, like that's crazy. Like if
Sure.
that makes sense. And I don't know. I think he can thrive. He has the ability to. He's shown it. He
Mm-hmm.
has the passion to play for the team that he's going to play for. He has the skills. Maybe going into like a European team where, not saying RSL doesn't take things seriously, but like if you see some of the trainings that these people do out there, um, that could help him out a bit. But I think he
Yeah.
has the ability to make it far. He just needs to make that move. And I don't
Yeah.
know if it's maybe like people haven't reached out or if it's RSL doesn't want to let him go, exactly what it is, but I feel like him leaving the MLS will be very big for him because I don't know if you saw
For sure.
pictures of Alfonso Davies before he joined Bayern versus after,
Mm-mm.
but it's crazy. So I'll
Really?
find it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, well, obviously we always wish them the best, especially given
hmm
that they're from RSL. But yeah, sad to see him go. We'll definitely see what happens with Luna, given that now Gozo he's probably going to make more than what Luna's making now. So hats off to Gozo. We wish him the best. I'm definitely going to be watching Crystal Palace games, so that's great to see. And I hope Palace treats him well. You know what I mean? I hope those fans are like, yeah, this guy's something. So.
hmm
On top of that, we do have some other news that we wanted to quickly run by. We do have a new up and coming signing. This was, I believe, breaking like today. So, Barcelona and Arsenal legend. I don't know, but
Yeah, I'd say a
Alexis,
legend just because of his goal.
sure, yeah. Alexis Sanchez has officially, I believe, inked a deal through 2027 with with MLS side CF Montreal, Canadian side, CF Montreal. So he will be, joining Montreal, uh, basically up and through the sprint season that we have next year. And this is really Montreal's biggest signing since signing Drogba. So there hasn't really been much going on with
I
Montreal,
didn't
but
even know he played for.
oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So, that'll be very cool to see. I don't know if you know this either, but Drogba played in the USL as well. I think he played for Phoenix. So
Really?
that was super dope. Yeah, he did. But this is pretty cool to see. Alexis Sanchez. Probably some people have noticed, recognize the name. He used to play for. He actually was playing for Sevilla in La Liga this last season. Not the greatest showing. I believe he only had like a handful of goals, maybe if that, across the full like 30 whatever games. But this will be exciting. I think maybe he still got some flair here and there. At the very worst, I think he can definitely help Prince Owusu, over
Wolfu.
there. So we can definitely see what happens with Montreal. But we'll see, man. I think this is a cool signing. He joins Lewandowski, Griezmann for another big time DP signing for the MLS. So some pretty big names, but definitely names that are more towards the end of the runway. I think Alexis is definitely in his 30s. So could be good for Montreal, but probably not the craziest head turning move, I would say.
Yeah. Let me see. How old is this guy? It never says
Gotta be
the
like
age.
35.
37. Holy moly. Um, yeah, he's old.
In
I
soccer years.
mean, yeah, in soccer years. Sometimes I'm like, that's only 7 years older than me. But yeah, he was in Sevilla last year. I think you
Yeah.
said that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes. Obviously, with him being in Sevilla, that means I mean, he was probably ramping up to get ready for the season anyways,
Yeah.
unless he was a free agent. But this guy had a crazy run from like 2011 till
Mm-hmm.
like about 2018, which he was at Barcelona from 2011 to 2014 for 3 years, 88 appearances, 39 goals. But I feel like his prime
Arsenal.
was definitely at Arsenal with
Yeah.
122 appearances and 60 goals. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
Talk
I
about
mean,
experience.
yeah, he's experienced. He's played for, I mean, two of probably the most popular teams in the world, aside from, well, they're on the level of a Madrid, Manchester
Yeah.
United.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you have it, it's there. it doesn't go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Like
look at
look
Luis
at
Suarez.
Suarez.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
literally. Like it hurts watching him run, but when he gets that ball, he's gonna do what he does, what
Right.
he's best
Yeah.
at, which is scoring goals. And I think like maybe the way I see it is possibly like a winger transitioning into their later years are usually better because not that strikers aren't in good shape, but wingers are usually in better shape because they're doing a bit more of like running up and down, you know.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see how it goes. I think here I was just looking at it. I didn't see how many goals he scored for Sevilla, but he played.
Not a lot, I don't
Yeah,
think.
I mean he played 28 games, 4 goals. Not a horrible showing at
Right.
36 years old for I would say like a high level team. Sevilla is usually pretty good. I think they might have got relegated this last year as I say high level
They,
team.
I think
Um
they.
let me see.
I believe so. I know
No,
Ramos
they're
bought.
still in.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
still in.
By the way, you keep bringing up La Liga teams. Have you seen the La Liga All Access on Netflix? I started it. It's really good. You should watch it.
I
It's
should.
really good.
I watched so many La Liga games. It's not even funny.
No, it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
It makes me want to go watch a game in Spain. Like, it's pretty dope.
Yeah. You need to go to the Spotify Camp Nou.
Yeah,
But
dude.
yeah.
Sorry, this is
No,
totally
go.
random, but like Real Sociedad against, is it Sevilla? No, Athletic Club and Real Sociedad, two of like the oldest clubs in La Liga. They kind of go through like that rivalry, dude. It's like sick. Like, there's a lot of history,
dude,
in La Liga. It's wild.
There's a lot like what's the Barcelona? Obviously, like when you think of Barcelona, people just think of
Right.
their rivalry with Madrid, and all that stuff. But have you ever seen their rivalry games against Espanyol? I'm pretty sure it's Espanyol. Hold on, give me one quick second. I'm like 99% sure that it's freaking Espanyol. But you need to look it up because I think it was this year and the year before, like, because they're both in that Catalonia section, but
Yeah.
obviously Barcelona is like so much better, so much bigger, like
Right.
can't even compare. But like, I believe Barca won the trophy against them. Like they were gonna be crowned champions, beating them, and they start celebrating, and it like all hell breaks loose because they're like, "You're not fucking celebrating in our stadium," and they like start fighting just because, like,
that's hilarious.
it was like just because they won the title and started celebrating. You just need to look into it, but that's a really good like rivalry game to watch
That's sick.
outside of El Clasico.
Yeah.
But yeah, La Liga.
Yeah, there's a lot of good
Liga's
games.
crazy.
So, anyways, La Liga All Access, Netflix, watch it.
Watch it. I'll watch it. But yeah, like I said, I think he'll do well. I don't think it's gonna be any like crazy signing. Obviously, you said it's the biggest signing since Drogba. But I feel like he'll help the team a bit. But
yeah, it can.
In my
be
opinion, don't expect too much.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we kind of said that about Lewa, but then all of a sudden he scores some goals. So he'll probably score.
Well,
he'll probably score some goals, but
I wouldn't put Alexis Sanchez on the same level
for
as
sure.
Lewandowski.
Not now, for sure. But I think back in Arsenal days,
no, never.
You're probably right. So that's a pretty big signing that we had in the MLS recently. There was probably the biggest one that happened that we definitely forgot to talk about last week. I don't think it was finalized last week, but I think it's finalized now. But for those of you that don't know, Chucky Lozano is officially signed for LA Galaxy. So LA Galaxy announced that the club has acquired Chucky Lozano on a loan as a DP through the rest of the year, basically through December of 2026, with a permanent trade option. So there is that possibility that he stays in LA Galaxy. Lozano joins the LA Galaxy following his time with San Diego FC. He had a very good season last year with them, had plenty of goals, gave San Diego that amazing freshman season, inaugural season with the MLS, going all the way to, I believe, the semifinal game. So, he did a very good job of helping that club. He was supposed to be the face of the club. And then what happened during, I believe it was the playoffs, there was a little bit of falling out with him and the coach where, things got a little bit dicey, didn't have, playing minutes in the playoffs, which ultimately led to a pretty sour, feeling against Chucky and the club and the coach and everything, so on and so forth. So, a bit of a cancer, I would say, in the locker room, right? He now goes to the winningest club in MLS that also is in a bit of a rut right now, right? I believe they're both, I would say, San Diego and LA Galaxy on kind of the lower spectrum of the Western Conference. So is this a good signing? I know there's a lot of things out there that don't love this signing. A lot of folks that we know, COC, you guys don't, I wouldn't say you guys love this signing, as fans. Mm-hmm. Do we love this? Do we like this? Do we like Chucky in Galaxy? Is this good for this club? Can he bring this club back potentially to what it was?
No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately for the Galaxy, no. In my opinion, he wasn't even the focal point of San Diego FC last year. Obviously, it was
Dreyer.
Dude, he's been playing so bad I forgot his name. Yeah, Dreyer carried that team. I was looking up Lewandowski and I almost said Lewa. Freaking Chucky I'm not gonna say he had a bad season. I feel like he did all right for being injured for so many games. But he's just gonna have a lot to prove, unfortunately.
For sure.
First of all, I feel like that COC video that we saw encapsulates, is that the word, what a lot of LA Galaxy fans are feeling right now. So he has to prove to the LA Galaxy fans, first of all, that, hey, I'm here to win. Like, yes, like maybe I was being a bit selfish in San Diego, but that's not me, which based off his career, I think it is him. But yeah, like he just has a lot to prove to the fans, to the team, and I just don't know if he can prove the haters wrong, unfortunately.
Okay.
Maybe he does, but even like for the World Cup, the coach, Mexico, is like, hey dude, like leave San Diego, go get some playing time and you'll make the national team. And he said, nah, I'm getting paid too much, I'm just gonna chill here. So it is, we'll see how it is. I don't think he's gonna do very well. First of all, he hasn't played as much. He was injury prone last year. LA Galaxy has a lot of injury prone players right now, and I feel like this is just probably one of the worst signings to have. Obviously, when we first talked about it, I was like, oh, it's not a bad idea. But then once I realized that he's taking up a DP player spot, I'm like, that's dumb. Like, why would you do that? There was so many options that you could choose from. Yeah. And you take Chucky Lozano. Yeah. And for sure. You're like COC said, like they said, you're giving a rival that's one step behind you an upper hand, while at the same time taking an ace away from yourself and giving it to them pretty much at this point.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree. All I know is this, because I can't predict the future. I don't know if Chucky's going to be amazing and score, 10 goals between now and the end of the season. But I do know this. Circle August 29th and October 17th on the calendar, because that is when San Diego plays LA Galaxy. They play them twice before the end of the season. And I was planning on going and watching El Tráfico, but I might want to watch this one more now because LAFC is way better than Galaxy right now. And I think LAFC is on a whole different planet, compared to Galaxy at the moment. But because of the drama with Chucky in San Diego and now being in LA Galaxy, and even the Galaxy fans kind of, discussing having him on the team, that might be some cinema right there. I don't know if I can make the 29th game. I might be busy that weekend. I think that's a Saturday. Yeah, I might be totally wrapped up that weekend. I will see. But on the 17th, I might try to make that freaking flight to Dignity Health and go see Galaxy against San Diego. Because, dude, if he's playing, and let's just say between now and October 17th, he gets 6 goals, 8 goals. That's a spicy game, bro. So I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully he goes and spices things up a little bit for the Galaxy, but he can definitely be, from what I can see and what you can see, a cancer to any organization. So unfortunately, I think that's how it's going to end. But can they get some goals? Can they get some wins out of this? Yeah. Potentially.
They play pretty quick, so we'll see how that goes.
It's going to be wild, dude.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game. It has
Sweet.
drama. It's sort of like how the NBA is trying to create drama between the Lakers and the Sixers by having them play in Christmas. This is real
Yeah.
drama, guys. This isn't fabricated drama. That's why you guys got to watch the MLS because there's real drama here. It's none of that fake stuff.
Yeah, this is all legit.
Yes.
Love that, dude. So definitely some crazy signings over the last few weeks, couple weeks, that we obviously forgot to go over. But even this last week has brought a lot of excitement to the league. So lots to go over there. And for the rest of the episode, and we'll try to get this through this as quickly as we can. Leagues Cup is currently still going on. I believe it should be done. The first phase, right? The group stage phase should be done on Thursday. So as of right now, let's see. I think,
bro,
as we do this, there's some games going on. So
I was gonna say, FC Cincinnati was up 1-0 and they were winning, and now they're down 2-1 and it's over. They basically lost. There's like
it's 90th.
That's crazy.
No way.
No, wait. VAR checking FC Cincinnati penalty currently going on as we
I
speak.
see VAR checking Cincinnati penalty. Wait. Cincinnati, come on. Because I think Atlas is already out. So standings as of right now for the Leagues Cup, so many Liga MX teams are already out. So many teams are out. Chivas, Pachuca, Tijuana, Atlas, Santos, Necaxa, San Luis, Pumas, Querétaro, Puebla are done. In terms of MLS, only Minnesota and Vancouver are out. So a lot of MLS teams can still make it. It's kind of wild, to be completely honest with you. So
Vancouver being out after 2 games.
Wild. Who had that on their
bucket list? Because I think I had them going through, right?
I think so. I think I did too. But okay, cool. So Leagues Cup, in terms of right now, top 4 teams that I can see, and I think Fama was going to be a little bit better here with the table.
No,
so in terms
I'm
of
smart, I didn't put Vancouver. Some dumbass did though.
Oh, damn. Anyways, as of right now, Liga MX, we have Juarez sitting up top, America second, Cruz Azul sitting third, and León sitting in fourth. In terms of MLS, we have Columbus Crew, Charlotte, Cincinnati, and Austin. So there's still plenty of movement that can definitely happen. Let's take a look at some of the upcoming games. I guess right now what we're seeing is Cincinnati could potentially be losing.
Has a penalty, sorry.
I just got the notification. Let's freaking go.
Sorry, nice. I just went on here and noticed.
No, it's all good. So sick. Okay, so here's what I was gonna say. Some upcoming games for Leagues Cup that are definitely gonna be, games that we want to watch between now and Thursday, right? So obviously RSL Juarez, pretty good game because RSL can technically still make it in if they get this win, right? So kind of a must win for RSL and Juarez because Juarez is in first right now, right? They're probably going to drop down a little bit here once they update the score, but both of these teams, definitely want a win, right? Tigres Vancouver, which I believe they play tonight.
They're playing right now, currently.
Yeah, they play right now. So Tigres also want to win because Tigres are also kind of in the running for Leagues Cup. Vancouver already out, so there could be a situation where Vancouver, rests as many guys as they can, but Tigres definitely wants to try to win this game. Aside from today, though, I don't know if you knew this, but Miami León tomorrow, big time game, dude. So both teams are actually still in the running for Leagues Cup. So León is currently in around 4th-ish place, but the biggest thing here is if Charlotte, Cincinnati, and Columbus tie, even if they tie and lose in penalties, and let's just say Real Salt Lake beats Juarez, Miami can be out. Crazy, right? Because they've won both of their games. But as of right now, let me take a look at the games. So as of right now, Columbus and Pumas are in penalties. Cincinnati lost, and then Real Salt Lake's winning. Charlotte's still 0-0. So there definitely could still be a situation where Miami does not get in, even before tomorrow, before they play the game. No Messi, dude. What the heck? We both had him winning the freaking Leagues Cup.
His dad died, bro. That's why he's not there.
Oh, dude. I know. I remember that.
You're making fun of his dad dying, bro?
No, dude. I'm just saying that he could potentially be out the freaking running, dude. Relax.
Yeah. No, and honestly, yeah. I mean, it was just a bad game against. Who did they play a couple days ago?
Let's take a look.
I
They
wanted
played
to
against
say like Toluca,
they lost against
Monterrey, yeah.
Monterrey. Yeah.
And I feel like this obviously no Messi.
Yeah.
No what's his name, bro? Bertarame. Obviously,
Bertarame.
I that was one of the reasons I thought that game was going to be good, just to have him come back.
Mm-hmm.
And play against his old team. He's obviously still dealing with his conclusion that he got. Um and yeah, sorry. That's just what I say. His concussion or whatever ended up happening. Like, obviously, he had something going on.
Right, for sure.
And then I'm just like, dude, all your freaking strikers are gone. Where the hell is Suarez, bro?
Yeah.
Get this guy in.
Yeah.
Then I forgot he spit on somebody last year. So,
Yeah, he can't play.
yeah, so he's basically, I mean, I don't even think if they made it to the final, he would have played.
Yeah.
So if they lose now, if they lose these 3 games, and he stays one more year, and the Leagues Cup comes back around next year, he's still gonna miss 3 games, which is crazy.
Wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, it's just I feel like it's a very bad time for Inter Miami right now. Obviously, with Messi's dad passing away and him not being there, and the fact that Bertarame got injured going into this game and Suarez being gone, I just feel like it took their players that they need. It took their best players. Sure. And I mean, Miami isn't known for their depth, right?
For
so,
sure.
especially with trying to keep the players that they have. So,
yeah,
we'll see how it is, but I'm just gonna assume that they're out.
Potentially.
Unless they win like 8-0 and everybody else in front of them loses somehow, but there's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it'll be tough. It could definitely be a Miami-less Leagues Cup playoffs. So we'll keep an eye on that. America against Austin will also play tomorrow. No, Thursday. America, Austin, both of those teams are kind of sitting at the top of the rankings. That'll be a fun game to watch. Both teams are doing very well. We mentioned Austin and Uzuni, obviously playing very well for them. And then America, always very consistent. Gutierrez, Brian Gutierrez that left Chicago Fire, obviously playing there, playing very well. Is it Gutierrez or Rodriguez?
Yeah,
what
was Gutierrez.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But does he play for them? I thought he played for Chivas. Or am I tripping?
Oh, maybe I'm tripping. Where did he go?
Chivas. Yeah, he plays for Chivas, dog.
Oh, my fault. Who was I thinking about then?
I don't know, but yeah, that is. He played for the Chicago Fire and he went to Chivas.
Oh, damn. Well, anyways, right. America, always a good team, right? So we'll definitely see what happens against America versus Austin. 2 top teams going at it. Hopefully one of them gets the number 1 seed. And goes on to play into the knockout phase for the Leagues Cup. Another one, Cruz Azul Chicago. Both were ranked about 3rd-ish place before today. So those 2 teams are also, very, very high-level teams that I don't know why I didn't think about Cruz Azul going into the next round. I don't think I have them going in the next round in my bracket, but total miss for me on that one. So that freaking sucks. And then, those are probably the best games to kind of watch over between now and Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Thoughts on Leagues Cup right now, dude? I mean, how are you feeling? How have you been watching the games? Are you even entertained remotely by some of these games?
Yeah, I've been trying to keep up with most of the games as much as I can. Obviously, I've been watching the RSL games and the Miami games, but with it being during the week, it's been a bit tough. But luckily, the later games I can catch some of them. So, but it's been a very good tournament. Honestly, it's pretty exciting when there's teams like an Austin FC that you're not expecting to come in and do something. It sucks when, as a Miami fan, they're pretty much out, but it's also exciting seeing RSL currently 2nd in the MLS.
Yeah.
And making way to try and win some silverware this year, because I don't remember them winning any trophies, because back when they won, I wasn't really an MLS fan like that,
Right, for sure. No, I totally agree. So, definitely a lot of good games in Leagues Cup. I think the no tie thing is very cool. It's very awesome to see. So that's very exciting. I am a little bit disappointed though in some of the way that some of these teams have gone about the Leagues Cup. We mentioned, at least I mentioned, that first Real Salt Lake game that they had against Tigres, not starting a lot of their starting players and kind of playing a lot of, I would say second, third string guys. So that was a little bit disappointing to watch. Real Salt Lake probably not take that first game very serious. Some people will probably argue that maybe they did, but in my opinion, like, that was not a serious game for Real Salt Lake, and honestly, that was ridiculous because they 100% could have won that game against a very good Tigres team, right? You also had Vancouver, who essentially didn't even try, right? They lost both of their first two games, and they're already out. So it doesn't really matter, right? They lost to Juarez, they lost to Atlante 1-0, and even in that first game, I was kind of looking at the lineup here, and if you look at the lineup for Vancouver in that first game, so many of these guys, like, you don't really recognize a lot of the people that they had up front. Maybe you do recognize Savali. Obviously recognize Cubas, Laborda, Ocampo, like in the defense, a couple of these other guys, but they didn't put Tristan Blackman in until 46 minutes, so second half. Sabi didn't go into the second half. Mueller, 64th minute. Brian White, 78th minute. So it's like, guys, you guys really, honestly, didn't really try here, and it kind of shows. So it's a little bit upsetting for a fan of the MLS that wants to see an MLS Cup continue to dominate Leagues Cup, like for teams like that to just not really care. I would say.
Why are they not playing Takaoka,
the goalie, Vancouver?
Yeah, because their worst player both games has been their goalie.
I don't know. He doesn't.
And maybe
look like
it's
injured.
like a situation where, like out in Europe, like for example, Barcelona during the Champions League, or like it.
Right.
Here and there, you see it where they're like, okay, you know what? So like, you're the goalie for the league, you're the goalie for the Champions League. But I feel like the Leagues Cup is such a like quick game. Like you get three.
Yeah.
It's 3 games, right?
Yeah, 3 games.
3 games to win. Like this is not a okay. You know what? Go ahead and play. Like it's fine. It's you have to actually try. At least in the first game, because the first game is very important. Obviously, RSL, like you said, they didn't really try. They came out with the 1 point, and yes, they have a chance to now
still get
in. But if they had those 2 extra points, or even if they won their PK shootout and had the extra point, they'd be extra safe. If they would have won the first gold game, they would have been possibly the only team with three wins, and that would have been an automatic like let's go for it. Like it's just irritating, like you said, as a fan to see some of these teams not trying. And like as an RSL fan, it makes no sense for them to not try or be like, this isn't important to us, because you don't win things.
Yeah,
so
like when was the last time we won?
You should want to try. Yeah, you should want to try in every possible tournament, league, like cup, whatever. Like any opportunity you have to try and win, like do it. Like don't focus on, let's say, the MLS Cup, because that's not even guaranteed. You're more likely to win the Leagues Cup because there's less games going on than you are to win the MLS Cup, because that's a grind. And then not only that, after the season, you still got to do the playoffs. So it's as a fan, it's disappointing to see some of these teams. And not only that, but as MLS fans, seeing these guys not try and get cooked by these Liga MX teams, and then having these Liga MX fans saying like, "Oh, this is why the MLS is inferior" and stuff like that.
Yeah, like that should light a fire. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
So quite a few different games coming up. We'll definitely see. Hopefully, MLS continues to dominate this and get a win, in the Leagues Cup, but we will definitely see, what happens in the next few weeks. So, in terms of MLS games, there is a full slate Saturday. I believe we also have about 4 or so games. 4 games on Sunday. So soccer's back. We'll definitely get back into the groove here. If we kind of look at like games for the MLS that are upcoming that we probably want to watch, I think the number one that comes to mind, right? I mean, if you're looking at the Saturday games, if you're looking at it right now, there's probably one that stands out. Do you see the one that I'm seeing?
I mean, the only one I can think of is the Nashville Inter Miami game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's probably the one that stands out the most. LAFC versus San Diego, but I was like, there's no way, because this is a rivalry game at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Nashville SC against Inter Miami, number 1 versus number 2 in the Eastern Conference, plus two clubs that have kind of had a history, so to say. in the past, within, the Champions Cup and the MLS Cup. So this should be a fun game. Like you said, Miami's a bit, in the dumps a little bit in terms of like their availability with players, but nonetheless, I think they can definitely put on a pretty good show against Nashville. It is going to be in Nashville, so that could be a little bit more tough. But that's probably a really good game. 6:30 was that 8:30 Eastern? Like, could be a very good game to watch. So I'll be excited to watch that. Unfortunately, I think it's one of those Surridge, Mukhtar, Saad. Like, they're probably going to get this win. But yeah, that's definitely the game that I'm going to be watching in terms of MLS over the weekend. So,
do you think Miami sees this game? Maybe even Miami and Nashville, because Miami's currently 11th, Nashville's currently 12th in the Leagues Cup. You think they're like, you know what? It's over. Let's not try too hard now and focus on the game on Saturday, knowing that it's a rivalry game.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, but
yeah, maybe. I mean, there's definitely a possibility. I think, depending on what happens today, because Miami plays tomorrow, like if there's really no way for them to get in, like why really show up, I guess you could say, right? Like play your B team, and then be ready on Saturday. So I think that's definitely a possibility. I even think Nashville possibly thinks the same way. I mean, they also play tomorrow, right? So
yeah,
there's definitely a chance where they say, yeah, you know what, screw it. Let's just let's just get ready for Saturday. Even Nashville tomorrow, they play Monterrey. Monterrey's not an easy team, not a very easy team to, beat. So we'll definitely see what happens.
Even Silvetti got injured the last game that they played in the Leagues Cup against Monterrey. So it's like, yeah, it sucks for them, but
yeah. I mean, there's plenty of games, right? That's probably the best one that I can see. And I'll probably do top 5 cracked games to watch before the weekend, and then we'll see what happens. But that is all we have, man. That's all the information for today's episode. Final thoughts, my dude. What are your final thoughts? Anything that you wanted to say before we sign off?
Not really. I had these stats pulled up for a minute ago, so I'm just gonna bring it up real quick.
Yeah.
But so we were talking about Lewandowski, and you were talking about Alexis Sanchez. And so I just started looking up the stats, and this man from 2014 to 2022 at Bayern had 375 games played and 344 goals scored.
Jeez.
And with Barca, he had 193 and 120. So this guy, obviously different positions, but that's all I wanted to say is, honestly, I was a Dortmund fan. I am a Dortmund fan. So Lewandowski was one of my favorite strikers growing up. And then I hated him for a really long time because he left. He was a snake and went to Bayern, and he was part of that 8-2 thrashing of Barcelona. But then he came to Barcelona, and now I love him again. So hey, you know what? That's how it happens sometimes. So
yeah.
All I want to say is shout out my boy Lewandowski, and keep watching the podcast, keep watching the clips, and let us know if we have good takes or bad takes.
Yeah, we always are. We're always aware of your comments. So, yeah. Again, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. But yeah, let us know how we're doing. We're always, open to new ideas. Probably have some new stuff coming out here pretty soon with hopefully with some very exciting guests that we can kind of discuss about MLS stuff and other things on the podcast. So we're looking forward to that. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all on episode 71. Peace.